In this video I am going to be making organic coconut oil. So I have some coconuts here. So here are some dried coconuts. So with these 3 coconuts I am going to break them, take the flesh from the coconut, and then I will be juicing them. And once I get the juice out, I'll leave it to set overnight. But before I do that, there is something about coconuts. I don't know how many people know, or I should say a coconut fun fact. Did you know that coconut have 3 eyes? Well, this is the first one. 1, 2, 3. So a coconut has 3 eyes, but only 1 can see. So now I'm going to do a little challenge with my son. We're going to see which one of us can open the eye on the coconut first. So we're going to use 2 of the coconuts, and we're going to see who can open that eye first. So here we have the coconuts. We're trying to find an eye that can be opened, and we're using some knives. So I think I found mine. I think my son has found his too. And we're just trying to see which one of us can get it to see first. And then we're going to drink the water. We're going to use some little straws. Because I'm beaten by my son. He found his. So you need to have your coconut water. Don't waste the coconut water. That's precious. Here, finally found the eyes in the coconut. They're open. Can you see them? Eyes wide open. So now I'm going to drink my coconut water. So I have these curly whirly straws. I'm going to stick the straw in, and I'm going to taste my coconut. Oh, this is so nice. This is, ooh, that is nice. Uh-oh, it's finished. Try this one. This one is even better. These are gorgeous coconuts. The water in them is beautiful.
I never knew about this eye thing.
You never knew about this eye thing?
So why do you always crack it like outside?
Because I'm just lazy. But when we were kids growing up, this is how my dad used to open coconuts first, so we don't waste any of the water. You finished this one?
No, it's not finished.
Here, finish it. Let me borrow the straw.
You don't want?
So here's another coconut. Coconut number 3. Eyes wide open, and all you need now is a straw to drink the water. So there's no need to break your coconut open and waste the water. Anyway, now I'm going to break the coconuts open. I'm indoors, and I'm going to try and use this hammer just to break them open. There we have it. Coconuts are open with the hammer, so I'm just going to use a knife now, just to get it open a bit more. And voila, these coconuts are beautiful too. It's coming away from the shell, so I won't have too much work to do to get the flesh from the shell. I'm going to use the hammer again to break coconut number 2. So here we go. Coconut is in my hand, and I'm just going to hold the coconut firmly and bang it with the hammer. So here we go. While I'm doing that, I'm spinning the coconut in my hand a little. So if you noticed it, just to get it cracked. You hear the sound is different because the coconut is now cracked. And I'll just complete that until I find it's opening a bit more freely in my hand. So there we have it. Another coconut is open. And here we have coconut number 3. I'll do the same thing, use the hammer. Or some people use a big chopper knife or something. Sometimes I use that, but I can't find it now. So I went into my DIY toolkit, found a hammer, and I'm just gradually pounding the coconuts to break it with the hammer. Now I hear that pow, so it's cracked. Once you get that first crack, the rest is easily done. Ooh, look at that. Comes off clean. So I'll finish the process. Ooh, I think those are going everywhere. Usually I'll break these outside, but it's not very good weather now, so Been a little bit messy in the kitchen with them, but I'll tidy up when I'm done. You see this one here is coming away nicely from the shell. To get the shell from the coconut, you can use a sharp knife, but it's very dangerous because sometimes the knife will slip away and then you can get cut. So what I would advise if you're taking coconut from this hard shell is to use a dinner knife. I always use a dinner knife because it's safer. So if a dinner knife, please, to ox your coconut from the shell. And I am going to be doing that. If you want to keep your hands in good condition, you can use a towel, something from the kitchen, just to hold the coconut. For instance, I'm using this, so I'll just put the coconut in there. You get more support too, and you save your beautiful hands. So if you want to keep your hands nice and soft, hold the coconut into something. So I'm gonna just get the knife under the coconut, and it's coming out nicely. It's just a technique. You have to get the knife right between the coconut on the shell itself, and then once you get the knife under there, you work it. You just work your hands between the coconut and the husk, and you get the coconut out easily. So I will complete the process and I will be back at the next stage in the process. So now I'm going to be blending my coconut to make my coconut oil. So there I have the coconut. It's in warm water because I'm using warm water to blend it. So I'm going to be pouring some of the water in here. That's maybe enough. I'm going to add some of the coconut to this water. So there's the coconut going in. So I'm blending my coconut in warm water because when you do blend your coconut in warm water, you get more of a creamier taste from the milk. So now I'm going to be blending this, and once I'm finished doing that, I will be juicing it. Now that I've blended my coconut milk here, I'm going to be pouring it through this strainer just to juice it. Here's my coconut milk ready to store for overnight, and I'm going to pour it in this plastic container here. And the reason for that is once it's stored in this container, tomorrow now I will be able to see the water separating from the milk. And once I achieve that, then I'll take the coconut milk off, just try to skim it off the water, and then I will set that to boil. That's the coconut milk in here. Tomorrow now you will see what it looks like when the water settles at the bottom and the milk comes to the top of the water. So there we go. That is going to be covered. This is going to be now stored somewhere and left overnight to 24 hours. Then the second process of the coconut oil will go on. So here we are again. This is day 2 of me making the organic coconut oils. This is the coconut milk that I had juiced yesterday. I had changed the container. After I had put it in the plastic container, I realized that I had this smoothie maker indoors, so I chose to put it in here. That way it will be easier for me to take the milk. Can you see the milk separating from the water here? So if you look clearly, you can see the milk just about here to here. So that's the milk, and the rest is the water. So that's the water at the bottom. What I'm going to do is to skim the milk off the top of the water, because that's what I will be boiling to make the coconut oil. And the rest of it I will freeze and use it to do something else, maybe just to boil some peas and make some rice and peas. So this is the milk here, so I have maybe about 1.5 inches thickness of the milk on top of the water here. So that's what I will be taking off to boil. So let's do it. So now I have my coconut cream or milk on the stove, and my stove is on very high heat. So I am now going to just boil this down until it starts to become oil. So you see all that? That's just from blending the coconut, juicing the milk out, and leaving it to set overnight. So I have mainly a cream to boil down rather than a pot of water and coconut milk. So this makes the process of getting the oil from the coconut much quicker than if I had makes it much quicker than if I had just blended and squeezed the milk out and boil it the same day. So this should take maybe another half an hour to 45 minutes. So once it starts boiling, we will come back to it. Now we have the coconut here, it's beginning to boil. So if I just leave that to continue boiling, you know, for a couple of minutes, well, if you notice now the coconut milk is boiling, you can see it's looking a bit custardy now. So that's what you want from it. So you leave it to just boil down on very high heat. So it's doing its job now, it's boiling down, getting very custardy. So you just leave that, you don't have to stir it or anything at this point, just leave it to boil down until you start seeing oil coming from it. So if you look now, you can see the oil forming. So there we have it, look at the oil forming beautifully. So I am just going to allow this to keep boiling on very high heat until this white looking custard becomes brown. Another look at the coconut oil, you can see it forming nicely. Much more oil in the pot now than earlier. See all that oil? So the stove is still on very high heat, and I am at the same time, every couple of minutes I go back to it and just to rub it in and scrape a little of it from the base of the pot. So here, see how dry, brown and dry that's becoming? I just want it to boil down like this for another couple of minutes, and then I will allow it to cool, and then I will strain my oil out. So there we have it, we are getting there slowly. See now, this is all looking golden brown. This is what you want, but you want it to become brown and crispy. So you can see the coconut oil. That's what we are looking for from it, and the smell is divine. I love the smell of coconut oil when you are actually making it for yourself. So I'm gonna turn the stove down a little bit because right now it's on the maximum heat. I'm gonna turn that down a little bit and just allow it to take its time to still dry out and boil down to give me a bit more oil from it. There we have it, the coconut oil is finished. Now I'm just going to allow it to cool. Once it's cool, I am going to pour it into a container, and then you will see the amount of oil I get from just 3 baby coconuts. So now that the oil that I made earlier is cool, I am now going to pour it into this container. I'm going to use a very fine strainer just to strain it off. In goes my oil. So here you can actually see the oil.